Hi there, welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging. Now, in the next episode, we're going to do a little bit of a pit stop and we're going to kind of review where we are in our series. As we've talked about before, Coffee Break Blogging is a little bit of a different kind of a podcast because while each episode is kind of self-contained in the fact that it's tactical on a particular topic, overall, it goes together in a sequential format. I have got a 7-stage process that takes starting a business from scratch and bringing it up to a point of very good profitability. And right now we're working on stage 2. Now, if you're listening to Coffee Break Blogging in order, then we're going in a particular order where the episodes are oriented around the particular stages. We already went through stage 1. We are now in stage 2. So the last many episodes of the show have had to deal with setting up the platform itself. We talked about setting up the server and the hosting and all that. And then we've been talking a lot about content and how to structure the content. And then we're going to be moving forward from there. Now, so we'll cover that again in the next episode of the show. But to wrap it up, one big one that I really wanted to talk about here when it comes to the content is what's known sometimes as pillar content. Now, the word pillar content or pillar post is usually referring to your initial batch of content. It's that content that you're going to put up on your blog first, and so if you're starting out a new site or if you're building a business from scratch where content marketing is going to be a big part of it, you are going to have those initial set of posts. So the big question is, what the hell are you going to do with those initial posts? What are you going to put there? You want to put your best foot forward and, build something that can be leveraged to launch your blog off, right? That's the way you want it to be, but how are you actually going to do that? Now, in the last episode, I ended it off by saying that a blog post should be looked at as an asset for your business, a business asset. And I said that you should not be looking at your blog posts as this clock-driven thing to where you're like, I just got to post a blog post once a week or once every few days or once a day. Horrible if you're trying to still do once a day. But, the whole idea is that you should not be looking at your blog content as something that you have to do because the clock told you to. That's old school. It's not very smart. It ain't very strategic. Just don't do that. It also just burns you out, man. And that's not the kind of business we want to be running, is one where all your time is spent making content so you don't have time for anything else, much less to have a life. That's not what we're about. So we got to be strategic about the content. Think longer term. You're building up assets. And so bringing that mentality back into the topic of pillar posts, that's how you want to look at these pillar posts, not getting some crap in your queue so you can kick the ball down the road and then you're just going to keep on, moving on that hamster wheel. No, you want to think of these initial blog posts so that they will be strong long-term assets for you, not just kicking the calendar down the road here, okay? So what are we going to do? How are we going to create these pillar posts? The first thing that you want to do is you want to find out what's hot. What is hot in your market? What are people really looking for? What's getting a rise out of them? So how we're going to determine this is we're going to go out and look at the marketplace. What the hell's going on out there? Now, there are 4 major segments that I'm going to mention here in passing almost on this episode. But it's the idea of looking for what people are watching, like as in videos, what people are buying, what people are searching for, and what people are sharing. Now, so if you cover those 4 activities, what they're watching, what they're buying, what they're sharing, and what they've searched for, you're going to get between those 4 different data sets, you're going to look for intersections. You are going to find hot topics. You are going to find things that your audience is showing that they are interested in those things. So, looking at these 4 things, how can you determine what people are watching? Well, go to the YouTube, youtube.com. Use the YouTube search function and just start typing in primary keywords related to your market. And then watch what starts popping up. Not only in terms of videos, and look for like videos that have a lot of views and a lot of activity, but the other thing that you can do is pay attention to the suggest functionality in the search. Google does the same thing. You start typing in a keyword and you're going to get this little drop down that pops down with other options like suggested searches, because Google's trying to help you out. They're trying to be cool. The thing is, those Google suggest options that pop down they're guessing that you want to search for those things because there's a lot of other people searching for those things. So you can actually use that little drop down in the search thing and you can see what other things people are searching for on YouTube. So do this, start poking around. You might even want to bust out a spreadsheet and start recording some of these keyword phrases that you see popping up in the search suggest form. And then see what videos pop up, see what is getting a lot of views and things like that, and just kind of, compile some data, take some notes. All right. In terms of what people have bought, you can go to the Amazon. Amazon.com, you've probably heard of them. Amazon.com sells an awful lot of things and they're big into the book. So we are talking, the business model that I focus on is primarily based around the teaching business. It's based around information marketing, selling knowledge, so to speak, or consulting or that type of thing. Now, when it comes to information, it just so happens that Amazon's a great place to look for that because they got all these books and all these Kindle books. And you can actually go on there and you can, based on review activity and things like that, you can find out what people are buying on Amazon. So start plugging in your primary search terms on Amazon, see what pops up. See what people are buying. Now, there's other things that you can do. We're not going to cover a lot of the tools here right now. I mean, one that comes off the top of my head might be ClickBank. Go to the ClickBank marketplace and see what's coming up. But, you get the idea. Now, next, talking about what people are searching for. Well, okay, this is obvious. Go to Google. Okay, so we've talked in the past, and when we were covering things like niche research, we talked a little bit about keyword research and things like that. So we're not going to cover that ground. Keyword research has been talked about in a lot of places, but you could do keyword research and you can find out what people are searching for. But the other thing is to use that search suggest field that I just mentioned for YouTube. Google does it. Go and plug your primary keywords into Google and see what's coming up. And then actually run those searches and see what the top results are, see what they're about, see what the activity level is like on those things, and just get some intelligence about what's going on in your marketplace. Now, we've covered what they're watching, what they're searching for, and what they're buying. We also want to know what they're sharing. Because if they're sharing it, that means that they're interested. Okay, so the best place to go for that is BuzzSumo. Just B-U-Z-Z Sumo, BuzzSumo.com. And you can plug in keywords here, and you're going to get search results that are ranked by how much they're being shared. And that's pretty damn useful information, isn't it? So you can actually find out what people are sharing along those things. What are they, what's buzzworthy, because they're throwing it around. Now, again, when it comes to the idea of judging buzz, there are a lot of other tools besides BuzzSumo. Potentially what I will do is put together something more in-depth on the Blog Marketing Academy on how to put all this stuff together. But those are the big four. Now I want to move forward with the actual pillar post itself. If you've done the stuff that we just said, you're going to have some ideas about what's hot in your marketplace. What are people looking for? What are the hot buttons? Now, from there, let's look at creating content which is going to get in front of their faces. That's what you want to happen. Now, the first thing is just look at the mindset of this pillar post. What do you want people to feel when they come to this post that you're going to create? You want them to feel like they just hit the freaking mother lode. You want to blow them away with value. As my friend Chris Ducker calls it, you want to drop value bombs. That's what you want to do. You want to just have tons of value there and really blow them away. You want this to be the kind of post that covers that topic so well that it makes the other ones look like crap. Now, how are you going to do this? How the hell are you going to create a post like that without it, taking your entire life? Well, I'll be honest with you. To create a really good pillar post is going to take some time. This is not something you're going to whip out in an hour or two, but I'm going to give you a little way to help you out. And in fact, it's going to help you with traffic generation as well. It's the idea of being a curator rather than a creator. You might have heard this term content curation. It's the idea of, instead of creating unique content yourself, you are actually curating other people's content. So what you do is you're surfacing the best stuff that already exists in the marketplace. You're not coming in and saying, well, I'm going to basically reinvent the wheel. You know, there's already these 100 people who created awesome articles on this topic, and what the hell am I going to add to it? You know, you don't want to be asking yourself that question, and it's not necessary. What you can actually do is be a curator, okay? So you're going to compile information together from these outside resources, and you're going to put them into a pillar post. And it can be like a big list post, you know, the old Listicle, 101 ways to blah, blah, blah. You could call it the ultimate guide to blah, blah, blah. And of course, whatever, just replace blah, blah, blah with your primary search phrase, the thing that popped up in that research, because you want this to be, you know, you want it to rank, okay? So you're gonna compile all this into this massive resource post. Now, here's what you can do. You have all these articles out there that you came across with Google and with BuzzSumo and with YouTube. You hopefully were recording those things, like what is popping up in the top of those search results. And then you're going to compile those things into this big resource. Now, what you can do is, for each one of these things, you're not just going to copy and paste or something. You're going to use the other person's blog post, and you are going to summarize it and give it your own twist as your unique content. It's just that you're not coming out with it all on your own from inside your own noggin. You're getting the inspiration from it from somebody else who did a lot of that research, quite frankly, for you. But you are going to give your own twist on it. Now, here's the key. You're going to link to that person. You know, you're not swiping their stuff. You don't want to be that guy. You want to link to them, and you want to give them due credit for the cool content that they just made. So you're going to create, you know, have a nice image for that thing, have, you know, your custom content, which is giving your unique twist on it, and then you link to the original source. And you do that for all of these other sources that you found. So if you're going to have like 50 ways to blah, 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 then each of those 50 things can be some cool strategy that you found on somebody else's website. And you do a little write-up on it. You can include images on it because images get shared out on Pinterest and stuff like that. And then you link out to the original source. And you're going to do that 50 times or however many times you want to include in this post. Now, when you were doing your research earlier, I hope that you were paying attention to the different keyword phrases that were coming up. And when you got those search, you know, suggest things on there, I hope you were paying attention to what was popping up, because those are different keyword phrases that people are looking for all around this same topic. Now, so here's what you can do, is that when you have these different parts of your ultimate guide or your big listicle post, you can make a certain point to target those alternative keyword phrases in these other segments of your ultimate guide. So that's how you can do that. This is, quite frankly, how you can rank one blog post for many different keyword phrases all at the same time. You're literally going to bomb that keyword phrase with value by targeting not only the primary keyword phrase, but all these little alternative keyword phrases that are related to it, because you're targeting all these things that popped up in your search and research that we did. Okay, this could be really, really powerful. Now, the last part of this is that you hopefully, and you should be doing this, you should have linked out to all the original sources. You don't want to steal the shit. That's not something you want to do. You want to give them real credit for it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to link to them. They're going to probably see the ping back. They might even have an alert set up, so they're going to find out that they got linked. What does that do? That lets them know you exist. It basically turns you into a bit of a player in that particular market. But then what you're going to do is you're going to reach out and you're going to email them. You're going to go to their blog, use their contact form, whatever, and you're going to shoot them an email and let them know that you linked to them, that you really thought their content was cool, that you really wanted to include it in this post that you made. Don't ask them for anything. Just let them know, be cool, be of value. You're going to find that a certain percentage of them will link back to you. They absolutely will. So that is a way to get onto the radar of people who already have legs in this market that you're looking to go into, okay? That helps bring traffic into your pillar post. It also will help get you backlinks. Hopefully we'll get you some shares and start to get your own metrics up to the point where you are going to start showing up at the top of those search results for those keyword phrases. And you're going to work it. This is something that you're going to come back and you're going to revisit because these are long-lasting assets. But you want these pillar posts to be strategically picked, targeting the hot buttons, and this is stuff that's really going to help launch your blog if you do it right. Okay? So I'm going to end off this episode here again by reminding you not to just use your pillar post to kick off your blog. This is not something where you want to say, well, let me get the first month of content written now, and then I'll give me a little bit of leeway time to kind of get into a rhythm. And it's this whole mentality that comes with traditional blogging that you have to be posting often, routinely. We don't want to do that. That sucks. That's a lot of work. So think long-term with these pillar posts. Every single blog post you put out should be something that is going to be a long-term asset for you. And your pillar posts need to really knock it out of the park. Okay? These are the ones that you want this to be like a major hub for your site. And think it out. Target it. Like, go out and use these metrics and these analytics tools that are available to you and use that data to create a data-driven pillar post. Not one where you're just writing something you think is cool, but data-driven. You're creating that pillar post in that way because the data showed you that it's working. Okay? So that's the idea behind creating pillar posts that work. Coming up in the next episode, episode 68, we're going to kind of do a little wrap up of stage 2 of this 7-stage process of building up a profitable online business based around your blog. And we'll review where we are and where we're heading and kind of just get a bird's eye view. Okay? See you in episode 68 in a few days.